and welcome everybody to episode 28 of the ForbiddenCast. I'm your host, Brandon Cambridge. And here we go. I'm going to start the episode, as always. I think is there? Ooh, that's clipping. That's clipping real loud. I'm still using the same Shure microphone, the not even $100 one that I was using last time. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. And then I also have my curtains open right now. So if there's extra reverb going on, it's because of those. Very cool, right? Not really. I don't fucking know. Anyways, everybody, I've been thinking about the ForbiddenCast, and ever since I had not uploaded that 1 week, I had noticed my view count on the recent episodes have gone down immensely, and it might also be because of that. Maybe YouTube is penalizing me, and the algorithm is just being stupid, and it's not showing up in your subscription feed anymore, in your subscriber feed or whatever, for under new videos. Or people are just getting sick of listening to this, which is also understandable. And on top of that, maybe what's going on is people are just losing a lack of interest because of the topics I've been talking about, which is fair enough. So thinking about that, and I want to be able to switch things up every now and again, and be able to do new things, because again, like I've stated previously in much older episodes, I say that as if we're on episode 500 or something, but yeah, I want to. Oh fuck! I lost what I was gonna say. Goodness, wow, that's horrible. I can't be the only one that has that. This happens to, right? Like I know I'm stupid. I know I'm not the most intelligent, creature on this planet, let alone, within probably, this apartment complex. But I can't be this even that, just forgetting on what the hell I was talking about. That can't be a sign of intellect. That has to be something else, right? I hope so. Anyways, what the hell was I even saying? I guess I can pause it and go back and see. Oh my god. Anyway, no, that's what I was talking about. Holy shit. What I was saying is I want to be able to switch things up for you guys, because maybe what the thing is, because I think the last few episodes I've been either just mostly talking about the recording process or whatever, and just music equipment as a whole, and maybe that's not very interesting to my viewers who are not really who like music but aren't into the gear and all that boring shit. So maybe what I was thinking is, because most podcasts are just fun times to kind of just hang out, relax, and to enjoy something, forget about your mediocre life like all of us have, which is unfortunate. Thank you, society. I probably sound like such an idiot. I really hope people didn't there's always going to be some truth to what people say, but at the same time, I hope that for the most part, the things I say should not ever be taken seriously, and that should be taken, as oh, this guy's just goofing. Please know that, because already it's funny, because listening to Super Mega and everything like that, especially on the newer episodes where they talk about the older episodes, they say that, oh, they've said some regrettable shit on there, and it's yeah, no, I mean, already since I started this podcast, the revival of the ForbiddenCast, I've already said some cringy, regrettable shit. There's one specific instance that I can pinpoint back to. that I think about constantly whenever I think about this podcast. Whenever, like, if people ask me like, oh, like, you got a YouTube channel, like, what do you do on it? And I talk about the podcast and everything, like, because that's a really big part of it. Because sometimes I don't always upload an extra video on the channel for like gear reviews or whatever. But yeah, and then I realized, oh yeah, like, it'd be really, it'd be awesome if you checked it out. Like, if someone's like, oh, that's cool, like, maybe I'll check it out or whatever. Like, yeah, I really appreciate that a lot. And then I realized, like, oh, they might start with episode 1. which I, which I really don't like, because I said something about I was being a fucking idiot for the sake of being stupid and for the sake of trying to be funny, even though it's not funny at all. I was talking about like how I don't like the government and everything like that. I just was being completely stupid and over the top about it for the sake of being stupid and over the top about it. So it's like, I don't know if people are gonna take that as satire, are gonna take me very seriously, even though it is, I mean, I won't lie, there has been things that the government has done throughout the course of history, just like any fucking government. It's not just the Canadian government. All government usually has a little bit of shit that's corrupt in it, just like anything, because that's what life is. Just going to be shady people doing shady shit, and it's just gonna happen. But in the first episode, I just went full stupid with it. And yeah, I really hope people don't listen to the very first episode again, or like for the first time, and are just like, oh my god, this guy's a fucking lunatic. So I mean, there's that I always kind of cringe at already. At the time, I laughed about it because I knew that it was like, oh, this is clearly a joke, and I go into it too far and just continue with it for way too long as like a fucking bit. And yeah, I feel like people are gonna listen to that and be like, this guy's insane. Um, but I'm not gonna take it down, because then that's, I mean, why? Because then there wouldn't be an episode 1, and I'm just not gonna replace it if especially if my channel does ever grow to a point where I become slightly quote unquote popular. People be like, where I was a fan since day one. Like, this is what the original episode sounded like, and this isn't what it is now. Yeah. So like, I'm not gonna do that. If people want to try to take me out of context and try to cancel me, that's fine. Um, but yeah. Anyways, what was I saying? What the hell was I saying? Because I wasn't really saying anything, was I? I don't even know. Oh boy. The problem is with me. It's like, I don't know if I have a memory loss problem because of my overnight situation, or if I'm actually, getting extremely stupid. Because there's also, the fact too that's like, I'm also a very anxious person. Maybe, for most people who might be listening to this, who may know me in actual, like, in person, um overall I might not seem like it, but I am in reality a very anxious person. I get anxious at nearly everything. If I have to do basically anything, if I have to interact with someone new, for that instance, like for 5 minutes during a day, it will be through my mind, and it will run over and over and over again, and my brain will just automatically come up with scenarios constantly. It'll over and over and over again, and then my brain will be like, it will either go this way, it will go that way, it will go this way. And then most of the time I'm just overthinking things constantly, and it drives me insane, and it makes me just get to the point where I'm just so anxious about, oh, it could go bad, it could go good, it could go well, it could be fine, it could not even matter, all this shit, that I just eventually just don't even want to do anything at all. And it might be related to my overnight thing, especially it might be amplified because of my overnight position. But because I mean, I've always kind of had that, but especially lately, as of lately, like it's been very apparent. Because even that too, like, because I've been, I mean, I'm very happy to say that I have finally found myself a new job, and I will be starting that soon. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be finally leaving Walmart. I mean, I like the people that I work with. It's just, I not don't dig the whole overnight thing, and I just kind of want to do something new and exciting. Um, but yeah, even doing that, like, it was extremely hard to even want to look into jobs because everything just felt, I just would. It just felt like like the weight of the world was on my shoulders for whatever reason. Even though it's literally nothing, you're just applying for a job, but yet I felt extremely anxious constantly about it because, there's the guilt of leaving work whenever I know a lot of people rely on me to show up because, I am a manager or whatever. Um, so there's that pressure. And then on top of that is just, again, having to start fresh and start new and having to do a new thing. And then there's also the process of like, okay, well, how soon can I start? And, like how soon do I want to start? And there's just all these scenarios that play through my brain constantly as soon as something new happens, and I hate it. I wish there's a way I can control it, but I have, for as long as I can remember, this is how I've been, and it really bums me out sometimes. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way or who has to deal with this sort of shit. Um, but yeah, and I mean, who knows? If you are someone who if you're dealing with the same thing, I hope me saying this, helps you helps you out a bit and makes you kind of like chill out a bit and be like, holy fuck, I'm not crazy. Like I'm not the only one who does this. So I hope some good comes out of me saying this instead of me just maybe sounding like a lunatic if I am the only one who does this. I mean, I doubt it. I feel like my buddy Lucas has said before that he runs scenarios, maybe not all the time, or to the point like me, where just it causes anxiety and it causes you know the lack of motivation. But yeah, I know he's definitely said that, like out of everything, he always runs scenarios through his head. But I think he just does that because he's not an idiot, and he's like, okay, I mean, things could go bad, things could be, none of the options could, that he's conjuring up in his mind could be necessarily good, but out of all of them, there's like one that's less severe than the other two or whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, all this to say is that I've been thinking about the podcast, and I was thinking maybe since, podcasts are typically just time to hang out, basically, this is my way to reach out to you guys and, opening myself up to the entire fucking internet. um, I'm sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. I know I've been swearing a lot recently, but I'm at a breaking point right now. Okay, leave me alone. I'm kidding. Um, but no, yeah, oh goodness. Um, yes, no, I want to. Maybe what I'm gonna do is for the people who like hearing about all the music shit and where I go shopping online and not actually buy anything, go browsing through Long and McQuaid and stuff like that. People who like it when I talk about music gear and music itself and all that. Maybe I'll do like once a yeah, not once a week, but like 1 week I'll do that, and then the next 2 weeks I'll have kind of a nice, cool, chill version of the podcast, like today's episode. Where it's just kind of talking about feelings and then all that kind of shit, or whatever else. Like maybe I'll go online and look up cool facts about the body or something. I don't fucking know. Just look up this psychology of something of some sort of mental disease or some shit. I don't fucking know. Maybe we'll learn stuff together. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking anyways. Do like two kind of just hangout episodes and I'll do one music episode. Just to kind of balance it out for the people who like hearing me rant about shit and talk about shit and just have someone to listen to kind of make you, because I know whenever I listen to podcasts or watch let's play channels like Game Grumps and Super Mega and stuff like that, for me it's, especially right now since I'm living so far away from friends, it's just a way for me. I mean, this sounds super sad. It really does, but it's, even before, whenever I was still in high school and everything, it felt like I had an extra pair of friends that I can just, if I wanted to hang out with them, it didn't matter if they're, you know, there's never the moment of like, oh, they're too busy to hang out right now. It's like I can just pull out my phone, open up an episode of Game Grumps, doesn't matter which one, and I can just sit down, have a meal, eat something while I'm watching gameplay footage of a cool game or just some random game, and I get to kind of hang out with two people that I can relate to. So I mean, that's kind of the same thing that I want to do for you guys, my viewers, um, and to be able to grow this to the point where like this is I can have more quote unquote friends, that I may not ever meet, or I may not ever actually get to properly interact with or whatever, but like overall, like we're, if you're following me, if you're subscribed to me on YouTube or you're following my social medias or anything like that, like to me, I don't care who you are, you're important to me because you follow me and you're helping, you're supporting me, and I really really appreciate that. Um, but yeah, so anyways, this has been a really heartfelt episode, I guess. um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the kind of mental state that I'm in lately. It's not been super great. I will say that. At the very least, I will say that it's been very hard to want to do anything. It also doesn't help that outside it's extremely warm, and since I live close to the is it the Ottawa River? I don't fucking know what it is, but I live close to a big body of water. Um, it's always very humid, so it makes it feel even more warm than it already is. Like if you weren't sweating, you have all this dampness on your skin, so it makes you feel like you're sweating, and it just sucks. And I hate it, and I wish it would not ever happen, ever. I want winter every time, but I guess that would take away the special effect of winter. I love winter so much. I just love the dryness of it. I mean, it makes my nose bleed, but whatever. It's nothing that severe. Might be something severe. I don't know. Gets people sick. Viruses are more known to be around. That's where there's the flu and everything like that, because it's easier to come back or whatever. I don't know. Is that scientifically accurate? I don't know. Listen, you're not here for hard facts. You're here for an idiot talking into a microphone. But yeah, I don't know. My mind is literally going blank right now. This is wild. This is the you can audibly hear the decay of someone's mind right before your very eyes as you watch this video and hear the words I speak. I'm also really tired. I'm always an idiot. I never do these episodes the days that I'm supposed to do them, which is the days that I should be whenever I'm off. I'm always doing it the day before it goes out, or the day it is going out, or just a day when I'm not really ready to mentally do this. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. It's been 20 minutes. That's not bad. It's been 20 minutes. I think there's one, especially on these episodes, that I'm going to be just kind of doing like a chill thing instead of just talking about music for 20 flipping minutes. Um, I think one thing I want to do is start saying some really cool quotes, or like at least a song lyric or something like that, that I think is really cool and speaks to me. Um, because, it's just, it adds to the vibe. It adds to the vibe, bro. Bitter. um, but for today's for today's quote, uh, let's. There was one actually that was kind of like circling my mind this morning quite a bit, and that is in. There's a documentary that Megadeth was in back in the 80s. Especially during the recording process of In My Darkest Hour. And Dave Mustaine says, there's a moment in the video where Dave Mustaine, sorry, let me rephrase this. There's a moment where the interviewer asked Dave Mustaine, like, why do so many metal bands, specifically your band as well, sing about death or have death related lyrics, something related to death in your lyrics or whatever, and like with the imagery and all that. And Dave Mustaine, oh, I burped. Dave Mustaine replies with saying, "Life without death is meaningless." Um, Now, obviously, you can look at that as a very broad kind of explanation, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just looking way too much into it. But like, I think that's a really, for some reason, that it says something to me. I can't explain exactly what it means to me, and I want to make sure I want to double check to make sure that is actually what he said. Dave Mustaine. Fucking no, that's no, no, stop it. Okay, Mustaine. Also, yeah, I got a new mic stand. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. You can hear my clickities and the thumpy some more. Life without death is meaningless. Is that the quote? The decline. Yeah, that's what the film is. The decline of Western civilization. The metal years. Yeah, without death, life would be meaningless. Here's another really good quote. Doesn't matter what size your pencil is; it's how you write your name. That's a good quote. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's no, yeah. That's the quote. That's all. That's okay. Yeah, that's it. Um, so yeah, I mean, obviously, take what you want with that quote. Think of it of how you want, or if you even care of what I had to say about it. But no, I like it a lot. I think it's I don't know, because I think like the way I perceive it, anyways, is like, I mean, it's kind of true. It's like if everybody just lived forever, it would take away the beauty of it. It would take away the beauty of life. I mean, it's just, you think about a flower. Like, why are flowers so beautiful? It's because whenever they're in the prime or in bloom, it's just, they're gorgeous to see that evolution, that not really evolution, that just that process happen. So then once they die, yeah, it's upsetting, but that's what made them so beautiful to begin with. That's why you appreciate them so much more when they are alive and they are growing and being nice, and then and then slowly withering. Even like some flowers, whenever they do start to wither and they there's petals, I was going to say flesh. I guess like it is kind of like a fleshy material. I don't know. I don't remember biology very much, but yeah, like whenever their petals start to decay, and they get start like sort of like wrinkly, like as we do as people. And I don't know. I think that's really cool. Because without that, flowers just would always look super pretty, and that's the thing. It's like if they always look super pretty, with the way that we've evolved through, the span of whatever amount of time that it took humans to evolve from the ape people that we were. Um, yeah, I don't know. It just we wouldn't see them as beautiful anymore. I think. I mean, at least that's how I see it. You know, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, again, I don't know what you want from me. I thought the quote was cool. I mean, think of what you want about Dave Mustaine. Say what you want about Dave Mustaine. I don't really care. Um, I think it was just a cool quote. All right, leave me alone. Something about it just seemed cool. Maybe it was just because it sounds edgy. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about uh this week's song recommendation. I don't know what it should be. I recently actually downloaded Anthrax's "Spreading the Disease" album, which is I haven't properly listened through it all, but there was a few songs that stuck out quite a bit. There's quite a few songs on this album too that was just kind of like, oh, okay, they're just kind of like thrashy tunes, which is, I mean, I like, but I want like spreading the disease, comparing it to Among the Living. Like Among the Living has like a ton of really catchy choruses and like some really really cool guitar work and stuff like that. There's a lot of really good solos on Spreading the Disease though. Um, but which song was it? I think Armed and Dangerous was pretty cool. I know Medusa was a really kind of weird one, but again, it grabbed my attention because it was so different from the rest of the album. The Enemy. Okay, so Medusa and The Enemy were the like really big stick out kind of songs on this album. But I would check out Medusa honestly if you're. It doesn't really feel like an Anthrax song to me, at least for what I perceive as Anthrax. Because whenever I think of Anthrax, I think of Indians or I mean, even most of the songs off of Among the Living, really, I feel like that's a pretty defining album. Um, Even listening to any of the other songs that aren't like super uh, crazy popular off of this song, I mean, like A Skeleton in the Closet. Like, I've never even heard that song before, and then as soon as I played it, like, I was like, okay, this sounds like Anthrax, and then like, turns out it's got a super catchy chorus that's awesome. But yeah, no, I would take a listen to Medusa by Anthrax off of their 1985 album Spreading the Disease. And I think, don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is their first album with Joey Belladonna, I think his last name is. Joey Belladonna. Yes, that's his name. Yes. He's an incredible singer. Like, it's so funny listening to his voice. Like, I always like you hear his voice and I always associate him with Anthrax immediately, but like it's weird because especially in the early songs. Um, he had a really great voice for like prog rock, like especially on the Spreading Disease album. Like from what I've listened to so far off of this album, like I can hear like he could have been like the front man for I mean, again, this is just my opinion, but like for Dream Theater, like he's got like that same kind of range. I feel I like his voice a little more than the vocalist for Dream Theater, um, because he does have that a little bit more raw aggression, and he does take those like extra little like screamy bits, which I like. But yeah, no, I think he would have been a really really cool, and I think that's why I like Medusa because it is pretty weird. Same thing with Enemy. Well, the Enemy, they kind of have like a little bit of a proggy ish, maybe not proggy ish vibe, but I mean I don't know. Yeah, they also do. Anthrax also has a cover of Rush's song "Anthem," which is a super awesome song, and they did an amazing job on it. Um, so, I mean, if you're also interested, check that out. I think it sounds really good. And again, once again, Joey did an excellent job covering the vocals for it. Because I mean, like everybody just thinks it's Geddy Lee. That's going to be impossible to cover because Gary Lee's got one, a super unique voice, and two, an extremely hard and high voice to be able to copy. But no, Joey pulls it off. I mean, from what the recording sounds like, pretty flawlessly. Like, it doesn't sound like Gary Lee, but I like that about it. It sounds like a really good cover, and I really hope that the mindset of like, oh, a cover will never be as good as like the original. I really hate that mindset because I mean, think about all the covers that are way more popular than than their originals. Like I mean, All Along the Watchtower. You know that that's a Bob Dylan song that Jimi Hendrix covered, and then I mean, Come On Feel the Noise was originally a Slade song, and then Quiet Riot covered it. And guess what? Everybody thinks it's a Quiet Riot original, even though it's not. um, uh, Tons of songs. What's another song? I mean, the Beatles. Tons of the Beatles songs are covers. Well, I mean, not sorry. Let me correct myself. A few of the Beatles songs are covers. Like Twist and Shout is one. Um, Trying to think of what else there is because I know there is more. I 100%. At least they've stolen riffs and stuff like that because that's. I mean, they've even came out and admitted it themselves. At least Paul McCartney said so. Anyways, um, but it Led Zeppelin. Like they've quite a few of their songs are their very popular songs are covers. Like Dazed and Confused is an adapt. That's the thing too. It's like where do you draw the line between cover and adaptation? Because some people will say it like Dazed and Confused is an adaptation, even though it's the same overall structure of the song, same lyrics, and on top of that, same um, like riff, like the ding 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 ding, like the bass line there. It's the same, so like maybe played slightly different, but like overall it's the same. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. I mean, even the same thing with Metallica. Like they covered "Am I Evil?" That song there. Metallica used to play it as it was a original, even though they stole it from Diamond Head because Diamond Head wasn't super popular over in the States, which is where Metallica was from. And everybody thought it was a Metallica song for the longest time. Even still now, people think it's a Metallica song, even though it's not. um, you know, some might argue that, like it's always going to be better, and that's fine. I mean, do I like it better? Honestly, like I've listened to Am I Evil so many times now that I'm just kind of bored with it. But I mean, same thing with Blitzkrieg. That's not a Metallica song, but yet everybody associates it with Metallica. Same thing with me. Like yes, I love Blitzkrieg as a band, and thanks to Metallica, I learned about them, and I've gotten to listen to Blitzkrieg's music. But um, yeah, Metallica kind of did the song better, you know. So, anyways, and again, once more, sorry, my phone's on the desk and oopsie. Um, and again, once again, "Antisocial" by is a cover of a French song called "Antisocial" by a French band called Trust, which is, I think they're from Quebec actually. And yeah, but again, how many people think of "Antisocial" as a Anthrax song rather than a Trust song? Personally, again, this is another personal choice. I kind of like the way the lyrics go on "Antisocial" for the Trust the original version versus the Anthrax version. Although the Anthrax version sounds hella superior, just by listening to it, because they recorded it much later on than Trusted, so they had way more stuff and they could have layered it more and all that shit. So, anyways, just goes to show that's like, just because it's a cover doesn't mean it's less good, you know. So, but anyways, so yeah, I've rambled on for long enough. This has been a weird episode. I liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you've listened all the way this far, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day.